Hello, fellow oboists. I was asked to consider making a video of these audition excerpts as a guide for students, especially those who live in more secluded areas and may not have access to a private instructor. The oboe can be a difficult instrument to record, so if you are recording these at home for a band test, try different rooms to test which acoustic works best for you. I actually sound best in my living room because we have vaulted ceilings, and if I wanted a tone with more ring and projection, I would record in my dining room since there's no carpet in there. Try not to point your oboe directly at the mic, as I'll be doing when I play. A reminder that if you and your band director are recording these for an honor band or orchestra in your state, there should not be a spoken introduction of any kind, as the point is to remain anonymous. We begin with the chromatic scale from D to D. While there is a metronome marking range, please don't play this faster than what sounds flowing and effortless for you. No one wants to hear someone struggling to keep up with a march tempo, and more importantly, you don't want to develop bad habits and reinforce sloppy technique by playing anything at a tempo for which you are not actually ready. Start at a soft, comfortable dynamic and crescendo to the high D. Not only will that help the C sharp and D speak, but the increased velocity of air will help your upper range sound full and warm. To ensure that no one is tempted to copy these and play them for their own audition, I will play the last few notes out of tempo. The next excerpt is by French oboist, innovator, and composer of the early Romantic era, Henri. I've spent time on this excerpt with my own private students, with oboists I've given sectionals to throughout the region, and a few years ago I spent the day in Oregon adjudicating the all-state recordings. The overall impression I hear on this one is that the main goal for oboists is trying to keep up with that metronome marking. As I said about the chromatic scale, no one wants to hear a player struggling to keep up with a tempo. The primary focus should always be to make excerpts sound musical. This one is playful and fun to listen to when it is played with precision and elegance. The first thing to do is mark in everything, including all the places to use forked or left Fs, if you are fortunate enough to have an oboe with that key. In the second and sixth measure, enhance that little crescendo from the C to the C sharp. Those half steps are always gratifying to play. Make sure that each phrase ending sounds graceful, no matter what tempo you end up taking. In the second half, I think it's fun to change up the pulse. So feel the first two measures in 2 as you crescendo, and then the tongued pattern in a bouncy 4 as you decrescendo. In measure 12, be sure to lift at the end of that phrase after the A, whether you need a breath or not. Be sure to press through those slurs, especially those with bigger intervals, and keep all the tongued notes perfectly symmetrical. In the last measure with the DC, I like to do a slight pullback and treat the 16th notes as pickups to the recap. Otherwise, it just sounds too abrupt to me, but if you choose to do it exactly in tempo, just be sure to place those initial notes of the first measure with conviction. Be sure to find a place to exhale at some point. I would recommend doing that right before the second half. So when I play it, I'm going to choose a moderate tempo that's approachable to younger players, and also play the final notes up an octave so no one tries to pass it off as their own recording. And actually, I don't know why you'd want to do that anyway. One of the best things about our instrument is that we all sound unique, and you should develop your own signature sound and style. I'll make a video of part 2 of these excerpts with oboe and English horn, so look for that if you found this to be beneficial. I'd love to hear how your recordings and audition results went, so feel free to send me a message. You can find me Northwest Oboe Seminar or Oregon Chamber Players sites. And of course, give me a thumbs up and leave comments in the video, and happy playing!